Hi everyone, my name's Paula. I'm a UX designer, and first I want to thank you for listening to me today. Today I'm going to be talking about a very buzzy word that I'm sure many of you have heard of called personalization. What does that mean to you? A lot of people think of recommended content, or they think of an ad, or they think about their browsing history, and some of them are really great, and others are really, really terrible. So today I'm going to be going over what is it, what is personalization, when should you use it, and how to actually deploy it well. And I'm going to add some examples and some use cases. So let's get started. So what's up with personalization anyway? It's everywhere, right? Think about your daily apps and online resources. What does it mean to you and how do you use it? I want you to think about websites or news apps or social media that you use, and you're clicking all this content every day. And when you go to another site or when you go somewhere else, do you find that that content comes back to you? What is this? Do you click on it? Is it useful? Is it right? These are all great questions, and I want you to keep that on top of your mind as we go through this. In the next few minutes, as I mentioned before, we're going to be talking about what is personalization, when is it useful, and how do you implement it well. So the first thing I want to call out is personalization. Most people think it's sort of this magical space that things just happen. But really, it's about delivering content and functionality that matches the user's needs, goals, motivations based on their previous behavior. So it doesn't come from some magical land. There is no force making these personalized contents for you. Another key aspect of it is that it really doesn't require the user to take an action. The great thing about it is that the system, if it's good, should be able to make the call based on the quote-unquote identity of the user. So that means that it should be based completely on your previous clicks, your previous behavior. There should be some kind of specialized content or description as to why something is being recommended to you. So for example, a really simple example is if you're shopping for a new coffee table and you go on westelm.com and you're looking at marble top coffee tables and you clicked on it, and then you went to Amazon and you searched for marble coffee tables. Now, the next time you're either on Amazon or West Elm or maybe even Wayfair, that content will most likely be marble top coffee tables. And that's completely based on your behavior. You took an action and now you see that. So when is it useful? So personalization needs to be very, very much monitored, and it really does build on trust. And so you want to make sure that you're using it right at the right time, and also technically speaking. So it's been a very, very popular word used amongst business leaders, product services, but it's really important to understand when it's useful and when it's not. It should be about making life easier and more efficient for users. But with that being said, like I said, if you do this badly, it can break your product or brand, and it can have a huge impact on customer trust. So the three main reasons when a service should use personalized content is, number one, if there are too many options. So take a site like Amazon. Amazon has hundreds of thousands of products. Imagine if all of it had the same level. So it really does require some form of personalization to help you sort through all the content and find the ones that are most relevant to you. The second one is building hierarchy. So let's look, and I'm going to be going through these in detail, but an example would be Google Maps. And the other one, last but not least, is advertising. They want to make money. They want to predict what you want so that you will most likely buy whatever service, experience, or content that they're providing. All right, so let's go into the first one. Too many options. As I mentioned, Amazon, love them. Why? Because if I search for toothbrushes, like I did, you can see here that there are over 40,000 results. That's a lot of toothbrush. And as you go through it, of course, there's some that, as you can see, the first one is sponsored, which kind of sucks. But when you scroll through all of them, the ones that are most relevant to you, meaning maybe you clicked on another website that had Philips toothbrush, it'll most likely pop up. And this is about efficiency. This is about letting me come to the app and find a toothbrush that's most relevant to me quicker. The second reason is no hierarchy. So let's look closely at Google Maps. So Google Maps uses this algorithm where if you search for something like very generic, like restaurants, you can see that there's these restaurants near my geolocation dot, right? But maybe you didn't even know this, but what about all the tiny little red dots? Have you ever actually paid attention to them? Probably not. You don't even know that Google Maps is giving you personalized content just because it is so ingrained and it feels so natural that you're more likely to click on Purple Cafe and Wine Bar because it has a bigger icon. And really, this is building hierarchy. You can't treat everything the same level of hierarchy. Imagine if all the restaurants were tiny little dots. What would happen? You'd just be going through it and you'd be way, way less efficient. So really, it's providing hierarchy for the user to be able to click and find content that's most relevant to them easier and quicker. Last but not least, ads. So no one will buy experiences, goods, or services that are not relevant to them. Most marketing firms wants to know what is in your head and what is most appealing to you so that the user will actually purchase it. And a lot of the companies like Instagram uses buzzy word, machine learning to do that. I am a huge fan of their ads, and I don't say that lightly. The reason I say this is because they are always really very much relevant to me, and they explain to me why this is being shown on my feed. All right, so let's talk about the how. A lot of people think personalization is about machine learning, which, okay, partially, but it is not all of it, not even close. It's about trust. Personalization can really improve the user experience without requiring extra effort from the user. But good personalization really comes down to one theme, and that is trust. But before we get all excited about all the good stuff, let's talk about what makes personalization bad. First of all, we want to avoid the WTF. First category is, why is this being recommended to me? We're completely dependent on the computer intelligence, aka the machine learning, to guess what users need. So if the computer doesn't have enough data or incorrect data, it can really ruin the business credibility and your customers' trust. So an example of this would be if I was looking for nail polish and I searched for about 2 minutes and I clicked on one pink color of nail polish, and now the next time I'm on some other website or even on the same website, don't show me pink nail polish because I searched for it about 2 weeks ago, and now I'm thinking, I don't remember what I was searching for, and why is this being recommended to me? And it makes me think, WTF. The other one you want to avoid is, how do they know that? So personalization, like I said, comes down to trust. And without explanations, it can be quite creepy. It's kind of like putting lipstick on a pig, saying they can say, oh, you know what? We think this movie is 98% recommended to you. And now you're sitting there thinking, okay, why? Why is this being recommended to me? I don't know. Maybe it's a good movie and it makes sense based on your previous watching history, but sometimes it doesn't. And now you're just sitting there thinking, why is this being recommended to me? I don't know. So now let's go back to what makes good personalization. So I would put, there are two very important categories within trust. The first one is a technical assurance, and the second one is comprehension. So first, let's talk about technical assurance. Ask yourself, does your business have the know-how, the machine learning, and the technical ability to predict what a user may want with at least 90+% assurance? If the answer is not, heck yes, go back to the drawing board. I really don't say this lightly or to be rude, but personalization is about building trust with the user. If they think your business is recommending irrelevant or not helpful content, it really becomes a frustration, a noise on their screen, which will result in losing your customers, and B, it'll provide a bad experience. They're going to get frustrated. There's going to be noise on the page. You're going to be taking up valuable space that you could be using to have really good content if you don't have the know-how, the technical ability to actually have 90% plus assurance that the recommendation or the personalized content you're giving is amazing. The second one is comprehension. Going back to the WTF that we talked about, people need to understand why. They need to understand why something is being recommended to them. This will build trust and understanding. So for example, if your business is an online clothing store and you recommend a specific sweater to your user, make sure to include why that sweater is being recommended. Maybe it was because they save similar sweaters, or maybe because people like them, bought the sweater. Communication with your customers is key. If you include comprehension, even if the user does not agree with the content, they'll understand why, and that will build trust. So having these two key ingredients together is what makes trust happen, and it's what makes personalization great. So now let's look at some examples. This is a very positive example. So let's look at Amazon. And I know I keep coming back to them, but they really, really do this very, very well. So here is my newsfeed, and it says inspired by a browsing history. So they have the algorithm. This is a face cream brand that I look at all the time. I've saved items multiple times. So there's their algorithm. They are explaining why I'm seeing this. So they said it's inspired by your browsing history. So I'm thinking, okay, yes, it's the cream that I always get. It's the one that I'm always looking at. This makes sense to me. And then they also have a call to action, and it's very clear. I can either click on each one or I can see more. Let's look at a bad example. So let's take Instagram. So if you go on your Instagram browsing history, your explore mode, and you're going through the post, and now you're thinking, okay, well, it says in the category, this is for me. So you're looking, and you're like, okay, cool. I'm going to click on this bowl with broccoli and tofu. And then at the bottom, as I highlighted, it says Instagram suggested. So, all right, they have the algorithm right. I love food. They're showing me food. Great. They have no explanation why I'm seeing these at all. What does Instagram suggested mean? What is this based on? I don't know. And then the call to action is not clear. I'm not really sure what to do with this information. I can't click on it to understand what the algorithm is or what the Instagram suggested actually means. Am I supposed to take an action on it? I'm not sure. Another terrible example is Redfin. So Redfin struggles with this a lot. So this is my New Homes for You tab. So first things first, the algorithm is wrong because my filters specifically specify that I want 3 bedrooms and 2 bath homes. And now, as you can see, they're showing me a 2-bed and 2.5 bath home. So that's completely out of my filter. I don't even want this. So definitely negativity there for their algorithm. They have no explanation why I'm seeing this or why this is being recommended to me, not even at the level when you tap into the home. So I have no idea if maybe they're recommending this to me because the house is brand new and maybe I've been looking at new construction. I have no idea. And last but not least, the call to action is not clear. And I put this as yellow because technically if you tap on the photo itself, you understand that you're going to be looking at the home detail, but it's not super clear. And also the recommended tap, like if I tap on the actual word recommended, nothing happens. So that's just a functionality problem, but not working. So to complete this talk, I really want to emphasize that when building personalization, make sure to focus on trust, meaning your algorithm has to be at least 98% assurance. Okay, I'm just kidding. 90% assurance. And also the comprehension. And I don't say this lightly, and it sounds very straightforward and very easy to do, but it's not. But just remember how important it is, because if you can't successfully do these 2 things, you will lose customers and you're going to lose their trust and the brand identity of your company, which I'm sure none of you want to do. So with that, I want to say thank you. If you have any questions or just want to chat about personalization or design or anything else, I can be found on Twitter at Paula Barconte, or you can also personally email me. Thank you.